Hi, everyone, and a warm welcome to the AI Agent Academy. I'm Sophia, your publisher.
And I'm John, your researcher. It's great to be here, Sophia.
It's great to have you, John. So, what foundational knowledge are we breaking down for our listeners today?
Today, we're tackling the most critical starting point for anyone looking to step into this exciting field, the essential prerequisites for building and understanding AI agents.
Exactly. So, if you've been wondering, where do I even start with AI agents? This episode is for you. We'll be laying out the core skills and knowledge you need to have in your toolkit before you dive into the deep end.
Absolutely. And I think the first and most crucial pillar, even before touching AI-specific topics, is having strong software development fundamentals.
Okay, software development fundamentals can sound a bit intimidating. It's a huge field. For someone specifically aiming for AI agents, where's the most practical place to start within that?
That's a great question. I recommend starting with the basics of back-end development. This isn't just about building websites, it's about understanding how systems communicate. We're talking about a solid grasp of at least one programming language, how to interact with databases, and the fundamentals of how APIs work to request and send data.
That makes sense. Agents need to interact with data and services. So, a programming language, databases, APIs. What else is non-negotiable in that fundamental toolkit?
I'd say two things are absolutely non-negotiable in modern development. Version control, specifically Git, to manage and track code changes, and comfort with the command line. These aren't just for agents, they are the bedrock of virtually all software engineering.
Okay, bedrock. I like that. So if we're trying to lay out that foundation for everyone, it sounds like we should highlight a few critical pillars. What's the first one?
The absolute first pillar is version control, and in today's world, that really means Git. It's a distributed version control system, often called a DVCS.
That distributed part sounds important. How does that make it different from just a save button?
It means every developer has a full copy of the project's history on their local machine. This is huge for collaboration. It enables multiple developers to work simultaneously without interference. More importantly, it provides comprehensive history tracking, allowing you to revert to any previous version if something goes wrong. And its branching and merging capabilities are essential for experimenting with new features safely.
So it's the DNA of collaborative coding. It gives you the confidence to experiment and a safety net to fall back on. Okay, pillar one is Git. What's pillar number two?
Pillar 2 is the engine room, back-end development, and databases. This is what makes an application truly dynamic and interactive.
The brains of the operation. What specific tasks happen in the back end?
It handles everything the user doesn't see. It validates data submitted from forms, manages data storage and retrieval, and sends the appropriate data back to the client. This is done with server-side programming languages like Python, Node.js, Ruby, or C#, often using web frameworks that simplify the process.
And the data itself lives in a database. How do we talk to it?
Exactly, and the primary language for that is SQL, Structured Learning Query Language. You use it to perform all the core database functions, creating, reading, updating, and deleting data, often referred to as CRUD operations.
Got it. So backend is the power, and SQL is the key. But how do different applications, maybe a mobile app and a web server, talk to each other?
That brings us to Pillar 3, APIs. Application Programming Interfaces, specifically REST APIs. They are the universal translators that allow two computer systems to securely exchange information.
So they act as a mediator with a specific set of rules for communication.
Perfectly put. A REST API follows principles like client-server decoupling and statelessness. It uses standard HTTP methods like GET, POST, PUT, and DELETE to perform those CRUD operations we just mentioned, and the data is typically exchanged in a lightweight, human-readable format like JSON.
Fantastic. We have version control, the backend engine, and API messengers. What's the final essential pillar?
The final one is about getting direct control, command line proficiency.
The classic black screen. Why is that still so important when we have beautiful graphical interfaces?
Because it offers a level of power and efficiency you can't get anywhere else. It's like learning to drive a stick shift. It gives you a fundamental mastery of the machine. You can perform complex tasks with a single line, like piping the output of one command into another, or using wildcards to manage many files at once.
What are some must-know commands for a beginner?
The basics of file and directory manipulation are key. CD to change directory, ls to list contents, mkdir to create a directory, and cp and mv for copying and moving files. But with this power comes responsibility. You have to be very careful with destructive commands like rm for removing files, especially when using sudo for admin privileges.
A crucial warning. These 4 pillars, version control, backend and databases, APIs, and the command line, truly lay a robust foundation for anyone wanting to get into software development.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Sophia. Building that solid foundation is the essential first step.
And once you have that foundation, you can start building the really exciting stuff on top of it. That's exactly what we'll be exploring in our next episode. Jon, what's on the docket for next time?
We're moving from the how of development to the what of AI. We'll be diving deep into the core mechanics of large language models, LLMs. We'll explore what's going on inside that black box, covering concepts like tokens, embeddings, and the attention mechanism.
It's going to be a fascinating discussion. And for our listeners who want to dive deeper into today's topics, all the sources we used for this episode are linked in the show notes.
That's right. And to give you a hands-on start, we've also prepared a special notebook LLM to go along with this episode. You can find the links to the sources and the notebook in the description below.
Perfect. So be sure to check those out and subscribe to the AI Agent Academy wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss it. Jon, as always, thanks for breaking down these complex topics for us.
My pleasure, Sophia. And thanks to everyone for listening.
We'll see you next time.